We went into a room with the nurses and they delivered my diagnosis and they said, yeah, we're sorry to let you know, but you have breast cancer.
All right, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sauna Sessions with Shea. In the hot seat today, we've got Joe Ellis Flint.
Yep.
Okay, I was thinking Elise, but Ellis.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for joining us today in the sauna.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you reached out a couple of weeks ago, and now I've known you through association. Your big, bulky husband, he's got this grin. If there's a new moon and he's a kilometre away, you can see his smile. He glows. He's
Yes.
just always, he's making people better just by the person that he is.
Yeah.
And then you've got two beautiful daughters that go to St. Patrick's Road. Road.
Yeah.
And all my nieces go there. So we're always sort of bumping into each other, aren't we? Yep. Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but you did get in contact and through the Facebook, I was watching you go to gym, F45, you're doing all these sessions.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped. And you were sort of posting about that you'd gone through some breast cancer.
Yes.
Let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
Before we do, you've got to do the honorary ladling of the water.
Great.
So if you can just chuck you a little bit of eucalyptus water on the rocks to get us started. And we're off to the races. Well done. So you didn't burn yourself there?
No.
Yeah. We just went up about 20 degrees.
Yeah, we did.
Well, not 20 degrees, but 10 degrees summer. But it's a very serious topic.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know a lot about it. There's obviously educational things out there to help people through the process.
Yeah.
But can you walk us through the day? Like, did you get a phone call? Like, you're at the gym, you think you're healthy, and then all of a sudden your world's turned upside down. How does that look?
Yeah, so 2019 I was entering the year turning 40. I'd organised an overseas trip with all my school friends that I met in year 7. We were all turning 40. We had a trip to Hawaii booked. My husband was equally turning 40. We had a trip to Bali, and just heading into 2019, on reflection, I was like, how good's my life been? And I literally thought, if I died tomorrow, my life has been it's been epic.
Yep.
I felt incredibly blessed. I'd travelled the world. I'd been never healthier.
Yeah.
I was pretty much at the peak of my fitness.
You were in the gym a lot, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
And having been an elite athlete in my sort of teens to early 20s, I hadn't had that same level of fitness until, there I was, 40. I went to Hawaii, turned 40, and realised that at 40 you could get a free mammogram. And having gone through breast cancer with my mother, that had a great early diagnosis as well, I thought, just like any other health check, it's important that I go and get that one ticked off. So I went off to Queensland breast screening and had my first mammogram, and I got a call back to go and get further testing at another screening facility at Chermside that had a lot more equipment to which they were able to do more.
Are you a little bit concerned at this point? Going, hang on, shouldn't the one test be enough?
I actually wasn't, but a girlfriend who had gone through breast cancer a year prior to me, I called her and said, I've got a call back, I've got to go and get some more testing. And she said to me, is Dan going with you?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, no, he's working. It was actually my youngest daughter's birthday. And she said, oh, okay, well, yeah. I said, I don't have like any concerns. I'm good to go. And off I went. And when just prior to going in and having another mammogram and ultrasound, you sign a disclosure and it basically is that if any more invasive methods are required, you are to undergo a biopsy.
Okay.
So I signed that in the waiting room, went off with the nurses, and
But still, everything's sweet. Everything's cool. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll take you back. I didn't have any lumps or any.
So nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I did another mammogram and an ultrasound, and the nurse came in and said, "We've found a little spot that we would like to get biopsied." And I just thought, okay, routine procedure, and I went through with that. So that was a pretty full-on experience that definitely changed the course of future, future, I think, testing that I would then have to have over the course of, my journey.
And you're just still doing everything, the routine. The
routine, all routine.
Everything the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went home. A few days later, I got a call and they wanted me to come back to get my results.
Okay.
And I spoke to the same friend that I'd spoken to previously. And
So their alarm bells are kind of going off,
she's like thinking this isn't.
But obviously not trying to stress you out either.
No, that's right. Yeah. And she actually offered to come with me.
Okay.
And again, because I wasn't feeling any concerns, and she came with me, and that was actually Gretel's birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we went into a room with the nurses, and they delivered my diagnosis, and they said, we're sorry to let you know, but you have breast cancer. Yeah. But it's at a very early stage.
Okay. Did that hit you like a brick wall?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. But you hear also early stage, it's a great prognosis.
Caught it early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then... you're just in shock and you're numb, and then...
And you got to go home and cut up some birthday cake because
literally.
It's your daughter's birthday. Yeah, right.
So I'm in the car and I ring Dan and I tell him, and you're just in a state of like fear. You face your mortality. You wonder, how does this happen to me? I've never been healthier. And then there is a lot of... time where you're feeling like this shouldn't happen to me.
Yeah. Because you were literally probably the fittest you'd ever been?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I ended up going to the same surgeon that my friend had been to the year prior. And I want to just say at this point, everyone's journey is very different.
For sure, yes.
And everyone, needs to be an advocate for themselves. We are the vehicle, our body is a vehicle. We have one life to do what we do. And I probably, on reflection, I did a lot of research myself that paved the pathway to the treatment that I chose for myself.
So, sorry, is there different pathways you can go down once you've got that information?
Yeah.
Or what are they? What's the difference?
So, I guess...
The radiation therapy?
Yeah. So, I went down a lot of rabbit holes.
Yeah.
I joined Facebook groups that are, available for women like myself that have a diagnosis, and really, encourage people to look at similarly joining groups so you can be around women that are going through...
Yeah, okay. And share similar stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because my treatment pathway was very intuitive.
Okay.
And back to, being an advocate for my body, being in a fear state and being told you know, you need to have surgery and
Yep.
you feel like, you know, you don't have any time to lose.
Okay.
And
Yep.
it's very easy to get caught up in that.
Yep.
But my message for anyone that has an early diagnosis that I have had, so I had stage 0 breast cancer. So
Okay. How many stages are there? Is it?
So it's like stage 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So you're at a good stage.
Yeah. So my cancer was literally a grain of sand.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
So it's called DCIS,
Yep.
ductal cell carcinoma in situ. So
Okay.
it's where the cells are literally growing
Yep.
within a contained environment.
Okay.
When breast cancer starts spilling out of those cells, it becomes staged.
Okay. Okay.
It's taken a bit of a lease of its own.
Yep.
It's starting to like mutate
Okay.
outside of those cells.
If you have that mammogram a year later, that looks totally different.
It's
Or
hard to know.
don't know, okay, yep.
It's hard to know.
It was a good thing you went when you did, though.
I do think it was because it definitely has given me. It's put me on a journey that was my moment. It was my aha moment in life that it was the catalyst for me to really look at what's important.
Start auditing things.
Deep dive into spirituality, you know,
Yeah.
and again, this is a comment that I can only make for myself, and there are a lot of people out there that have not had the same diagnosis as me, and I'm very sensitive to people that have lost their mothers or grandmothers or sisters from breast cancer.
For sure,
This is,
yes, yeah.
you know, something that I speak very openly about now because the lens that I can put on an early stage breast cancer diagnosis is one that I want to empower women around, that it is a moment where you have time to explore a lot of options. It's not a time where this fear should, you know, determine what pathway you go on, because that needs to be your decision. And I truly believe that, you know, someone that is not an academic, you know, I'm not a doctor. I certainly didn't go down the path of science, but when I looked at the research and when I listened to what other women were doing that treat breast cancer at a similar stage without any treatment, it really empowered me to feel like there were women out there that wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, right.
But then there were also women that would go down, you know, a surgery path, radiation, you know, chemo. So, yeah, talking about the treatment options because it was so early. You know, actively monitoring it is not really an option that a doctor will give you. But certainly one that other women.
Sorry, did you look at a few different doctors for a few different options, or you?
I went with the surgeon that my friend went to. And this was a decision that I made, but it was one that the first surgery that I had, he missed the spot. So I had to go back into surgery.
I think I remember that.
I had to go back and get it.
I think I sent a message to, like, you know, thoughts and prayers are with you. But it was the second time that I'm like, oh no, did they not get it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they missed the spot, and therefore, and the reason that they realised this was because you get a pathology report and there was no cancer found in the tissue that they removed.
Right. Okay.
So this was in my it was found in my left breast, and then it was, well, we need to go back and get it out again.
We've got to go again, yeah.
So that was quite that was traumatic.
Oh, understandable. Yeah. We've just been through round 1. Now we've got to go round 2.
Now I've got to go get surgery again. But
Yep.
in hindsight, that time that I had between surgery 1 and surgery 2 was 4 months.
Okay. Yep.
And I did a lot of research in that time and a lot of spiritual, like deep diving, like
for sure.
set me on a path that has changed my life for the better.
Yeah.
And when I went back 4 months later, there was no change. So I think that's another important thing to mention, that nothing in my situation was drastic.
It's not growing. It's not getting out of control. Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
So in that time, there were other tests that I underwent, including I was gifted genetic testing to see if I had the BRCA gene.
Yeah, okay.
I had an MRI to see if it had potentially spread elsewhere, which for something that's a size,
grain of sand.
That wasn't maybe something that I should have been worried about, but of course you do.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real battle that you're having with you imagine not being around for your children. You absolutely face all the worst case scenarios, including, for me, the fact that I did do a deep dive on all the treatment.
Yeah.
You are literally living that option as if that is what you're about to do. I met women that had single mastectomies, double mastectomies. My friend had chemotherapy.
Yeah.
It's...
So how do you broach that with your kids?
So, this is the other, I think, really important takeaway, is what I experienced in that was how you deliver something to everyone around you is the outcome, and how you sort of set, I think, the scene for the rest of your journey. So you can treat it as an absolute, catastrophe.
Yeah.
Or you can face it with the same lens to which it's presented, which it's early stage. You've got a lot of options. And so that was, I guess, the narrative that I continued to,
So you flip the script.
The script.
Yeah, you're not like, okay, it's not all negative. It's okay, let's look at the positive points.
Yeah.
And in some ways too, that helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't keep anything away from my girls. My husband, Dan, obviously was my rock.
Yeah.
And he being, he's super positive. There wasn't another, we never talked about, even if I was worried, he's like...
Yeah, what's the alternative?
Which was also sometimes frustrating, because I was like, well, you don't have a crystal ball, you don't know. But the fact that he did have that faith did, you know, keep me also in check. And those moments where it was, dark, there was always that light. And I did feel like I was being supported.
Yeah, good.
And that I was going to have, the best outcome.
Do you go through that roller coaster of emotions though? You feel frustrated, you feel angry, it's all there. Yeah.
I looked at taking, I stopped drinking. I went vegan. I did all these different things that, I went to naturopaths. I started taking, this, that and the other. I had supplement fatigue from, monitoring a diet and thinking like that had caused my cancer. And you really don't know. We know a lot of things that we know that, the environment is different. We know that we're eating, we're eating things that ingredients shouldn't be there, but no one seems to know what causes.
So you've developed a more worldly perspective on things. Yeah. And so what did you change from before getting the diagnosis to, you starting to see, okay, there's light here. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, so when did you find out that, okay, you're in the clear?
So after the second operation, during that period of time that I had before my second operation to get it out,
yep.
I had a appointment with a radiologist mm-hmm. that talked to me about radiation, to which I declined that treatment. And the reason I declined radiation was because of my early diagnosis, and because I at that point had decided that I wanted to be strategic with what treatment options I did undertake, because when you do radiation, it can very much change your pathway to having a reconstruction in the future, because it basically obliterates the cells. Like,
how's that chat online with Facebook? Like, how many people? Like, if God forbid it happens to someone, I just wouldn't want to get radiation therapy, and I haven't done my homework on it at all.
Yeah.
But there's just something that's in. From a gut feeling,
totally.
I'm looking for natural therapies.
Yeah. Definitely radiation. When I sat there at my first appointment, that was definitely not
an option.
Not an option.
Yeah.
It also, I think, has to, like, I'm very, again, like, being an advocate for my body, I'm lean. My left side, heart, lungs, I'm thinking quality of life.
Yeah.
So first thing was quality of life. Do I want the risks associated to potential damaging my heart or lungs?
Yes, yeah.
No. Do I want to compromise the tissue and not have the best possible outcome should I be diagnosed again? And being 40, I was considering at that stage single mastectomy, double mastectomy with reconstruction.
Yeah.
So
there's a few sleepless nights going on there.
Yeah. Definitely. But I was comfortable with my decision.
Yep.
And then I decided that I would actively monitor after that second surgery.
Yeah.
And then they monitor you, obviously. Well, and I then had another mammogram, and they found more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Plot twist there. Didn't expect that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. So this is after the second surgery.
Yeah.
There's more popping up.
Within 12 months, I had a second diagnosis that...
Oh, shit. Okay.
The cells were not as confined as the first time.
Yep.
And...
So now this is round 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and it's like, okay, I've been through round 1, so I know how to get through the first couple of stages.
Yeah.
But it's like, for fuck's sake, this is like just getting a bit too much now. Like it's are we getting it or we're not getting it? Come on, like.
Yeah. And then I guess, then for me was like, okay, now I really need to go down and really look at single mastectomy, double mastectomy, reconstruction.
Yep.
Do I get implants or do I go flat? So again, living the options, I was imagining myself as a person with a single mastectomy and reaching out to women that had that.
Yep.
Hearing their stories, then I had I'd go on the other side where I was talking to women that had a double mastectomy. Or with no reconstruction. And then with implants, you've got these risks now associated to implant illness. So I researched that as well.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah. So there's it's a lot of research, but there's also like all these, it's not like, do I get a loaf of sourdough or white bread? Or these are all decisions you've got to make that, and they're not it's not all chocolates and rainbows. These are really tough decisions that you've got to try and work out yourself. But how long down the track now is this? Is this a couple of years?
Yeah. So within 2 years, I had. I was looking at for 2 future surgeries.
Yeah.
So I decided I would go down the route of having a double mastectomy with Reconstruction.
Yeah.
And I chose that because I wanted to feel confident. And I personally, I've always been fit, healthy. I wanted to be comfortable and confident, not only how I felt about myself, but also for my girls.
Yeah.
I felt like if I didn't...
These are tough decisions to make, aren't they? These are, you're alive when these decisions are in front of you. Yeah.
I imagine myself at the beach and being that mum that didn't feel confident because I didn't, my breasts were different or not there, that I would be not the mum, the fun. I'd be there, hiding, and so I just wanted to own it, and really, that's what I did.
Yeah. So in those 2 years, so obviously you changed your diet. Did you keep going to the gym? Did you just keep doing things as per normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky that after the surgeries, I bounced back really quickly, and I think that's another.
Yeah.
Point. When you're, fit and healthy, you get diagnosed with a game changer diagnosis like cancer.
Yeah.
But you bounce back from surgery that really, not only for yourself, you're like, wow, that wasn't as bad as I imagined.
Yep.
And then
back doing lunges, and
everyone around you is like, again, presenting it in a positive way.
Yes, yeah.
The people around you, you can see, you can tell your friends that you've been diagnosed with cancer, and you see the tears in their eyes. You see the fear in their face. So to be able to have a positive spin, and they are nothing but on the same, obviously they're
supportive
feeling,
and
that is what their response keeps you buoyant as well.
Yeah. Do you find with yourself, like, just talking things out is very cathartic, and you can work things out just by talking things out? So like those Facebook groups, or even your husband, or just your group. Yeah. Those conversations, it's not looping in your head. You're getting it out. Just really helps to sort of solidify your decision. What far out. Like, from radiation therapy, I've got all these. And they're not good, but we've got to try and want something, because I want to be around here for my bloody daughters, So, it's, and now, like, even in the message you sent me, like, that perspective shift now is you want to inspire people.
Yeah.
To do better, live their best lives. You never know when you could get that phone call. Peeling a banana, come down to the doctor's surgery. We've got some bad news. Like, what? It's life is short, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I mean, as well, like there's a lot of things that I know now that, in hindsight, I truly believe I would have left the tiny grain of sand, but it's hard to actually fathom that, because I didn't know what I know now.
Yes, yeah.
And that for other women that get diagnosed in an early stage, it's impossible to imagine that anyone, may be listening to what I've gone through, that may think, oh, I'm just going to actively monitor this.
Yeah.
But I want to say to women out there that when you do all your own research, you're not part of this fear train of conventional medicine.
Spot on. Yeah. Yep.
You need to go down that path for yourself and trust your gut.
Yep.
Because going through what I went through with multiple surgeries and you know, the path that I went on was all a path that has led me to like coming out now and being able to talk to people. And I believe that I went through that to be able to,
good.
you know, inspire and help people. And I think,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's cancer that changes your life's perspective or something else, it's for everyone to at that moment when they're going through a challenging time, there is a message.
For sure.
Of what am I going to do with this? Like, what can I do with this, and how can I help others, or how can I, you know, for my kids, be an example of how to, you know, deal with challenging.
I suppose you keep reminding yourself too. Before all this happened, you said to yourself, "Oh, I'm grateful. I got 2 beautiful kids. I got an awesome husband. I've got all these great things around me." So there are things to lean back on, isn't there? And just keep reminding yourself, well, it's not all bad, is it? Like this,
No.
But this is a big, powerful thing going through that, because it's easy enough to say all those things, but it's like you get that phone call, and it's like you may have 3 months, you may have 6 months. It's like that can flip your world upside down. Yeah. And I suppose you probably heard all these stories too. Like I just heard of this lady who was she was in a spa bath the other day, and she's like, I've got I think 2 weeks to live, and it's like talking to her, and it's like, I just want to do the best I can in those 2 weeks, and brought tears to my eyes to hear stuff like that. But she's flipped the script. She's on the way out.
Yeah.
She knows how long she's got.
Yeah.
But she's still like, okay, I could sit and watch Netflix and feel sorry for myself, and, you know, for these 2 weeks, or I can get out and meet people and just spread the love and the kindness. So, you know, so it is, perspective is huge, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know, for that lady that's been told that she's got 2 weeks, I hear often that when they, you know, when people, you know, flick the switch, they're still here for like years later. So it's again, you know, we can look at the statistics, but there's not enough on the other side of statistics that show that there are a lot of people treating cancer like naturally or holistically, or not, you know, rushing down the path of surgery. And, you know, that's an incredibly empowering other side to look at, to see that people are,
But you've gone through it. Like, so you've survived. You're here. You're in the sauna. We're having a chat. I'm so glad that you came on. Thanks so much for taking your time out to come. But do you find this is connected to this? Because I'm not going to get into what, but I've noticed that this was strong, this was weak as hell, and they kind of work together. This could be really strong, that could be weak. If you got these two strong, then you're on fire. But this was saying this is all good, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? So, and when you're going through with something that could be life-threatening, it's good to have this on your side working with strength. And part of you being the fittest you've ever been, that reiteration that I'm super fit. Like, you know,
this shouldn't happen to me.
This shouldn't happen to me.
Why is it happening to me? And the reason it happened to me, it had to happen to me to be sitting here talking about it. And it also happened to me, had to happen to me because for years before that, I felt like I was on a spiritual path, and that was a catalyst for me to really take like a deep dive and look at, you know, all these other beautiful ways of treating, you know, myself through, you know, kinesiology and crystal healing and all of.
So before that, did you think they're all a bit woo woo?
Definitely. And now that's just my that's my world, and the people that I've met along that path are some of the greatest. They're my people, you know, and I love that at this time in our lives and in the world that we're living, you know, it's crazy times. Like, never have we seen what we're seeing, and, you know, intuition is guiding people to a higher consciousness, this
sure.
awakening, and, podcasts and these new channels for information, instead of having a one-dimensional view of what's on the news, is what is creating this rise in humanity, where we're no longer, looking at being told what to do or how we should think, or, it's not always the right.
No, Well, do you think you would have reached out if you hadn't gone through what you've gone through?
No.
So I'm so glad you're sitting in here because of it in some ways. So, you do develop strength from adversity, but you also, I just said to my wife this morning that I'm so glad you're coming on to share your story, because it is going to help a lot of people and you're going to inspire so many people from it. And I'm curious as to your mindset and the process you went through, because I haven't had bloody breast cancer. I don't understand that process, but to hear your story is, there's always a ray of light, and there's, as you said, you've started to find different modalities of spiritualism, and it's a shame we didn't get you in the ice bath. If I had the ice bath there, I would have recorded the whole bloody thing, and everyone's like, holy hell, Joe's doing...
Because we both hate ice baths. Yeah. But to your point about, you talk about here and here. Let's not forget what's in here.
Yes, yeah.
Because I think, your head can tell you, that can be your ego, that can be...
For sure,
things that you think is right, but your, gut is going to really decide what guides your final decision. But if you really reach into your heart... that is what is going to tell your intuition. And really, tell here what is the right thing to do, and you'll have that faith. And
well, you're right. This generally gets in the way. And so and it's sometimes from that ego. Sometimes that ego can help, though. When I was going through my thing, it's like, no, you're not dying. You're fit as you're performing. You're drumming 6 nights a week. Everyone loves you. And that's all. I look back at that now, but that's the mindset. In some way, I had a purpose. So that purpose, and I don't have children, but I think children would be a big part. You want to see your daughter's next birthday, don't you? You want to be blowing out candles with her, and so just to, you've come through it all now. You've seen the light. What was that like that day?
So, again, the path that I took, I feel like, so much more confident, faith. I'm not driven by fear. I don't, there was a time when I was going through all that where you're waking up every morning and, you're in a fear state. I don't wake up anymore thinking about when's it going to come back. I'm now 5 years since my, first diagnosis. I've definitely, got some scars to show for it. I've got some really great looking breasts now too. But, I don't, I feel like I've never been more alive, and I feel like I've never had more purpose. And, and I'm, excited to see...
the next chapter.
chapter.
Joe, I want to speak to you for another 3 hours about this, but I'm touching the camera every now and again. How you going? You've got a face cloth here if you need to... clean. We haven't even had a sip of water. I haven't had time to have bloody water. I've been listening to your story for the whole time. But if people want to educate themselves more, obviously we've got a Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. What can women do to catch it early, or just educate themselves more on breast cancer?
I think, look, everyone knows that breast cancer is out there. Unless you're facing it, why worry about something that may not happen to you? With the early detection that I've had, obviously I took advantage of a free mammogram. So yes, if it is in your, family history, then rightly so, you should, monitor. But I also feel there is a lot of over monitoring. But again, like go with your gut.
Pick your spot, find your lane, and just
But then for women that do familiarise yourself with the changes that you have in your breasts. Obviously, lumps are something that shouldn't be ignored.
Yes, for sure.
And but as for resources, I mean, there's plenty of stuff.
Get out there on Google and find it. Yeah. But look, it's easier said than done, isn't it? Because I know with male stuff as well.
Yeah.
I'm the last guy that wants to do it, and I'm like, no, I've got other stuff. I'll, for another day.
Yeah.
And I think we all do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not front of brain until it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that inflammation is the devil. In our system, inflammation is not what we want to be encouraging. On reflection, when I look back, in 2019, there was a lot of heat that I felt radiating in my left breast. And I actually, like a lot of women, early, menopause, you'll experience these sort of like early heat sort of flushes. I thought I may have been on the early like menopause sort of side.
Right, okay.
But I definitely had inflammation that I felt. So heat is the first sign of, I believe, when cells start, sort of changing.
So it could be menopause, it could be breast cancer. Go get it checked out. Yeah.
Go get it checked out. And
isn't that interesting? You actually can rewind the clock and you start to go, it was only 1%. It was nothing. But it's like, no, I'll be fine.
I started feeling, I even had like at night, I would wake up and I'd feel sort of almost sweaty, and I'm not a sweaty person. So that was definitely a sign that things were not, happy.
I could see it. Like, I'm sweating like a bloody pig over here, and you're like, not even, what's going on here? Jesus. Okay. It's like, you can't outdo me in the sauna either. Okay. So it's like, shit, Shea's giving up first. It's his bloody sauna sesh, Like, we can't have that. Joe, I would love to talk to you for another hour, but I have a feeling this thing's just about to, give up the ghost. But thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I love hearing your story, and I know it's going to inspire other people to go get those checks, go educate yourself. If it's in the family, just look into it. You don't have to bloody spend 50 days on it. Just, look into it. And if you're feeling it, go get a mammogram and get checked out. But thank you so much for joining us in the sauna today.
Thanks for doing this great work.
Look, I'm loving it, and I'm loving your story. So thank you so much for reaching out.
Thank you.
All right, guys, don't forget to like and share and all that stuff you should do with podcasting and with Sauna Sessions with Shea. And we'll see you guys on the next one.